Antoine. Antoine is telling us about his podcast. He's AM University.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please tell us about it.
So at the core of it, at the base of it, it's centered around sports. Basketball, football, what so have you. But me being a coach, I always equated everything that has to do with sports to life, right? So we really want to talk about the subjects that no one is talking about in sports. To me, everybody want to talk about surface level things in sports. That doesn't help people like from where we come from. People from the inner city. We need to get down to the nitty gritty.
I'm stopping him right now because you know why? Because I didn't tell you what we was cooking first. Then I want my man to get all into the details like he's doing because he's doing a great job. But we're going to fix for you guys. We're going to fix, and I'm showing Antoine, we're going to have the crispy chicken Parmesan, and we're going to make some Jamaican sweet potato salad. Man, I know, I keep coming up with this stuff. But that's what we're going to do. And with the Jamaican salad, of course, we're going to need some sweet potatoes, some sweet corn, you drain the corn, some green peppers, some sweet onions, some black pepper and sour cream and mayo. We got that because the Jamaican sweet potato salad is very simple because you can't, do a lot to it. Sometimes you can throw some chicken in it, some meat in it, and I've seen people throw raisins in it, but then I saw something that said, don't throw raisins in the potato salad. So I'm not going to throw raisins in the potato salad because I want everything we fixing this is the first time that I'm doing it.
Okay.
So we tasting it together.
Okay.
And we're broadening our horizon with our taste buds.
There you go.
Because this is the first time that I'm doing this, and I want my audience to keep trying different meals because and not be afraid of the kitchen. That is the premise of the Reggie's Cooked into Life Lessons show.
Absolutely.
Because we're giving a cooking lesson and we're giving a life lesson. So that's when you come in.
There you go.
And you letting us know what is taking you to your level.
Right.
How you making that. Now, I think I've said many times to my audience about the fact that I ran the Larry Gang Stop the Violence organization, and we had an annual basketball tournament. But when Antoine, the last time we had a tournament was just before the pandemic. Antoine he coaches high school boys, right?
Yes, sir.
He brought his team in, and they won the championship. That was a good night. The courts, the courts downtown were brand new. Everybody was feeling the newness of the presentation of the city with the park, how good it looked.
Yeah.
And actually, Antoine, haven't you played in the tournament?
Yeah. One championship when we played back in the day too.
Back in the day, because he's a veteran he's alumni from the Larry Gang Stop the Violence, and he's a graduate of Rutgers University, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you play with Sidney?
Yes, sir.
That's how. But I knew I remembered him because Sidney was one of my. I was mentoring Sidney because he's a smart young kid. I mean, he was a young man because they was in college.
Right.
But they came to the basketball court, and I just made sure that I talked to them and they understood that the direction to go is forward.
Absolutely.
Them guys was doing it. And where he's at now, is forward from where he was. Like he said, he's coaching, and they won the championship. I was happy and proud for him because he shows them boys how to. He mentors his boys. Come on, talk about it. Come on.
Yeah, well, again, with AM University, that's the premise of what we're doing. We're just trying to show the world a different narrative of the real things that go on as far as sports that parents and players are just not aware of. It's a lot of people taking advantage of kids and parents just because they're an asset, and we don't want that anymore. So that's the premise of AM University. As far as me coaching, I will be starting my AAU back up, Camden Elite, come September, and I just really want to get down to the grassroots as far as again, learning things the right way. Like people like the man next to me and other mentors in the city of Camden, they helped us, help mold us into the men that we are today. We didn't acknowledge it at the time, but that's what was going on, right? And I feel like we've lost that in a lot of cities, but especially Camden, right? It's no feeder program. It's no one pulling a young kid to the side unless that kid can be an asset to an adult. That's a problem. Right, that's a problem, and that's something that needs to be fixed. So between Camden Elite, between AM University, between me coaching high school basketball, I feel like that's my purpose. And it coincides with what we're doing today so much. I got to go back to what you said about making a sweet potato. Is just like the diversity that we're doing right now.
Yes.
We think it's just food, but it's deeper than that. We got to open our brain to different things.
Yes, that's why we do it like this. That is exactly why we're doing it like this. And that is one of the reasons that I made sure that I wanted you to come here again to definitely to talk about what you're doing, but for you to see what I'm doing, so that to make you double think about offering different things to our young men. And I've been talking lately with some of one of my old buddies, and we were talking about how when we were young teenagers, and we could have been doing different things, but our parents, they used to say, if you go into the military, which I did, I went into the Marine Corps, they think automatically we're going to go in and do 20 years and that we'll be set.
Right.
No, I didn't spend 20 years in there. Then I came home, and actually I was by myself. Even though my parents were still living, but they had moved to North Carolina or something like that. They moved to North Carolina, I had entered the VEAP program, the Veterans Education Assistant Program.
Okay.
So I had money in there, but I came home, and I came home. You come home. You don't come home to a job. You come home to go get a job. But I came home, so instead of going into school, because I didn't have the proper guidance, I took that VEAP money to buy me a car so that I can go about getting a job.
Right.
Damn if I didn't get a letter from Seton Hall. And actually, what did it mean to me? Nothing. Know why? Because I ain't have nobody to tell me what that letter meant. Because they were talking about me coming and running track for them. But I didn't even think about it until just recently talking about it. Was that a scholarship they was offering me? They sent me a letter. I didn't send them the letter. I had took my SATs and sent that out to other different schools, but Seton Hall wasn't on the list.
Right.
But I got a letter from Seton Hall, but I had no direction on what to do.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
But we want to do better than that.
Yeah.
That's why we want to talk to the younger people that are coming up now. That's why I want this brother standing next to me to say and feel his reward, be rewarded for the work that he's doing. He might not say, he like me, I got all these proclamations and stuff like that, and I say that doesn't mean anything. But truly, it does.
Right.
It's encouragement. I'm doing my part to encourage this young man to keep it rocking, because he's doing it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's crazy how this world just they try to make a narrative for you, right? Like you said about Seton Hall, you had no idea what was going on. That could have been a full athletic scholarship.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, your brain thought what the world told you to think, right? Like we all get programmed in this. Ego's a powerful thing, and I think that in my opinion, I think coming from where we come from, we need ego, but at the same time, we gotta rid ourselves of it for the better cause, like you're talking about. You know, you're talking about the things that I do. You know, we know all the things that you do, but I think that's our purpose, because it's like, what are we doing if we're not giving back, right? Whatever our talents are, why are we here?
We're here to share.
That's our purpose.
That's what we're here to do, to share the joy of sharing. And then when I feed the community, literally give them bags of groceries.
Yeah.
I don't say to them, why aren't you saying thank you to me? What you say? The feeding the bucket of your inner soul. That's seeing the smile is what encourages me to keep doing that.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you feel that and don't feel like entitled for something back, or and I'm asking you this because the general public doesn't feel the way that you do. They might act like they just want to do a good deed, but they really want something in return. They really want some stardom or something, some type of reparation for what they just did for someone else, right? It's not really genuine. So why do you feel the way in your heart that you doing that gesture is good enough?
Well, truly, I get that from my grandmother.
There you go.
My grandmother, when she looked out for everybody, she raised us sharing. Sharing is caring, because she was a caring person. And if we only had bologna, even though I don't know if we only had bologna because we was po, but I know we was po.
Right.
Because we sure were sharing with our community.
Right.
So it's I feel like it's natural, something that I should be doing. That's why. I mean, again, I'm happy when if somebody takes the time to acknowledge me. I'm happy with that. But I'd rather get the support to do more.
Mm.
Don't tell me about it. Be about it.
Okay.
But this ain't about me. This is about you.
Yeah.
I know one thing. One thing that I had that really touched me was when you won the championship. I posted it on my Facebook page, the Larry Gang Stop the Violence for Facebook page, that you guys had won. But your mother, I don't know if she inboxed me directly or put it on the page. She might have inboxed you directly because it was kind of like a personal. She thanked me for allowing you to be involved. That is a part of what made me feel like I was doing something, like I was giving back, because I knew that what I was doing was just giving you the opportunity.
Right.
You have something you can talk to them kids about.
Right.
And I know them kids still love you for winning that championship.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she got my mom got a heart of gold.
Your mom is. I don't know if I met your mom personally, because we're friends, and she says hi, Reggie, like she knows me. But I know somebody that she's friends with, so she might have met me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I really loved her saying that she appreciated me giving you the opportunity. And again, I know she's gonna love me again because I'm giving you this opportunity. So I know that you have a degree in criminal justice.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
Well, actually, we could just talk about my college very briefly. So I had no idea what I wanted to do in college going there. I was a typical Camden kid. I just want to play sports. Never cared too much, just being honest with you guys, never cared too much about academics, didn't take it seriously. I didn't want to do math. So I was like, criminal justice is the route for me.
I know what you're talking about.
Went to Rutgers, got my degree in criminal justice.
How do you get into Rutgers? Rutgers ain't no easy school to get into. You said academics was no big thing to you, but you can't just walk into Rutgers.
Well, I always did what needed to be done in the classroom.
Your mama made sure you did what you were supposed to do.
I would never like just flunk classes or anything like that. I just never liked school. I didn't like school since the 2nd grade. I used to think something was wrong with me.
But his mom made him. I know she did. And I don't mean beat him to make him go.
Right.
Encourage him to do it.
Yeah.
Because what we're talking about, one of the things we talked about not having somebody who's going to give us the right direction.
Right.
You know, we needed somebody to tell us this is how this is done.
Right. So I get my criminal justice degree at Rutgers. Then I went to the real world after that, and I found out how the world views just us. You know.
Go ahead, say it. Tell them.
And it was a real struggle. You know, I was really trying to figure it out for years, right? I don't regret that degree at all because ultimately it led me to what I'm doing now, which is, you know, mentoring youth through basketball. So in actuality, in a way, I am using my degree, you know, but it's just not directly about criminal justice, if that makes sense, right? But I would say this about college while we're on the topic. College is a tool. It's not the only tool, right? If you know exactly what you want to do and you need to go through college to do it, do it. If you're trying to explore different things and you don't have absolutely no idea, go to college. But it's a lot of other avenues than college. Again, like we spoke about previously, don't be programmed and think that you got to just do it the way society tells you that you got to do it and be successful. You know, you get your degree, then you'll have a high-paying job, then you'll have to picket fence outside with your kids and your dogs. You don't have to take that route. All right, I just want to tell anybody out there that has kids or that kids that's watching, right? It's a lot of other routes.
You know what? That reminds me of when we was doing the tournament, during the games, how the teams are picked. All the teams are not people that's in school. Because some kids don't complete school, but they still got game. So the tournament, the games were open up to anybody could play together, because the message was to teach them camaraderie, teach them problem solving, teach them how to be dependable. So that people, you know, you're a star player and you come in 15 minutes after the game start, you're not dependable.
Right.
So you can't be the star.
No question.
You be the star by being on time, by helping your fellow teammates. But this was something that it goes beyond the basketball courts. Because if you see that you start understand that it takes teamwork to win. When you're not on the basketball court, it still takes teamwork to win. I'm cutting up these sweet potatoes. I'm cutting them into the cubes. I'm going to put them into this bowl because we're going to put them on the stove. They're going to be on the stove for about 10, 15 minutes because all we want to do is soften them up. So then we'll be prepared to put the Jamaican sweet potato salad together. Then we're going to go into the crispy chicken Parmesan after we do that. But right now, because now my brother understands the direction this show is going, we're going to take a break. We're going to put these on the stove in the boiling water. We'll be right back. Good. Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons. Antoine Miller. An AM University podcast. Of course, you have to subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to both of us. Support both of us.
Everybody, right.
We'll be right back. We're back. And I have Antoine Miller. We're having a great conversation of how he's mentoring the young men and coaching and how he feels about life. How he feels about life. We're doing all this while we're making Jamaican sweet potato salad, and we're also going to do crispy chicken Parmesan. Now, right now, I done boiled the sweet potatoes. I put them in the cold water bath. They ready. I'm going, and what goes in here, in this we have the drained sweet corn. We have some white onions, sweet onions. We have some sweet onions and like scallions and the sweet onions. And I'm going to dice up some green peppers and red peppers because they go in there. They go into it. I'm gonna use the same knife. And while we're doing this, you know what? I didn't ask Antoine to grab anything and cut anything, even though he said that he was more than willing, because I really was just listening to what he had to say, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So, him cutting something, or you know what? That's what I'm gonna do, my man. See, look, this is how I'm doing this, right? I'm cutting the slivers, cutting into the. Then, what we're going to do is, and then we're going to cut them into. We're going to dice them up. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing this like this. Okay. Now, because I want his mama to see him doing something, so he can't get out of cooking anymore. Well,
nah, I'm all right with cooking, man. I'm all right.
So I'm going to let my brother chop up these red peppers. And in fact, you can chop up the red peppers. Ooh, look, I'm just throwing that over there into the bowl. Can you dice up the red pepper for me like that, brother? Good. And as you dicing it up, I think we have enough of the scallions, so I'm not going to do that. But please, get your hands into the project and tell us about where you guys are going next. You said you get ready to start your AAU stuff back up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So obviously the pandemic, I felt it wasn't just a good idea to run AAU during the pandemic.
Right.
It's a lot that still did it. Whatever floats your boat. But, I felt like we needed to wait. But I feel like it's time to come back because, again, I'm going to say this. I say this all the time because I feel it's very important. I feel like in the urban community, we don't have a feeder program at all.
A feeder program?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I'm glad you asked. So, basically, in a lot of prestigious high schools that has a lot of history, they have feeder programs. And what a feeder program is it teaches you the things that you'll learn by the time you get to high school. So by the time you get to high school, you've already seen it because it's always a community already established. The high school coach is one on they have a relationship with the lower level coaches.
So you're talking about the program, how like when I played football.
Yeah.
In high school, we ran college plays. We had a college. So to go to college and play, it wasn't like Pee Wee football. They didn't just run Pee Wee football programs in the high school that I went to. We ran Oklahoma's offense.
Right. So by the time you got there, it was you already learned it. They might have taught you some more tweaks.
Right.
But you already got the grasp of what they was doing.
Right.
We don't have that in urban communities at all. We don't have people that has a relationship with the higher ups that we're all on the same board. So you won't miss a beat. You can speak for your age.
Right.
I don't know what y'all did. From my age bracket, I didn't see
that.
Oh,
but I didn't go to school in Camden.
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't go to school in the inner city. So
I didn't learn, and this is no knock on anybody, but this is just my experience. I didn't learn anything about basketball from a coach until I got to college. Mm-hmm. I never seen a scouting report until I got to college. I never seen a real practice plan until I got to college. That's a problem. I'm 19 years old.
That's why they rave over our superstar basketball players that we have in the city of Camden. And I'm not going to say any names, but we have superstar basketball players. But it's only one person, because that one of those players, those superstar players, can score 40 points, 50 points in a game. Now, at the high school level, if you got one player scoring 50 points per game, you can beat a team without teaching your team the whole scheme of basketball, because you got a person because how many high school teams score 60 and 70 points a game? Not a lot. So I understand what you're saying. So you're saying that in your program, you're teaching the players how to catch the ball at the top and roll around, because you done said something, somebody yelled out something, because that they understand what to do next.
Right, because this is the reality, right? Mm-hmm. Us in the black community, we get spoiled, for lack of a better word, with our God-given talent, right? So we use that God-given talent to take us wherever, right? And we just abuse it, right? But we never teach the kid, right? But it always comes a time where the kid need to be taught, and now they're looking at Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is a prime example. No one ever held Ben Simmons accountable his whole life. Why? Because they felt they never had to, because he was always a 6'10" point guard, right? So this is good enough for us to win. I'm not going to make him do anything. Now look at the struggles he's having with professional athletes. Yes, it's hard for me. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to multitask, guys. Now you see the struggles that he's having with professional athletes, and he's struggling. I want to do anything within my power to not let that happen to any kid that I come across with.
That's a teaching process. That's a teaching process.
That's what Camden Elite stands for, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to teach, right? We're going to teach, because at the core, that's what it's about. It's about the teaching. It's about the life lessons that you learn.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want you to make sure you give yourself a plug for your AM University, because these messages that he's talking about now with us, he puts this into his podcast, and I want you guys, if you want to hear more of this, I want you to follow him. I want you to subscribe and follow me for the cooking and the life lessons, but this is a life lesson. So.
Yeah, AM University, A.M. University. We're 40 plus episodes in, man, and it's going amazing, because we're just here to talk about the truth. Like no one wants to talk about the truth. Everybody, it's a microwave society, and everybody wants to.
I didn't know that. I wouldn't have thought of that elitism being a problem for Ben Simmons. You don't know what his issues is. You might, because he might have a problem with, I don't want to say, he don't have a problem with his game. I'll put it like that. He has a problem with the coping skills.
100% accurate.
So whatever his problem is, it ain't with his game.
No, not at all.
So again.
But do you blame him, or do you blame the people that brought him up?
But you know what? We can't blame anybody. We can't blame anybody, because I know who we can blame, but it ain't him. It ain't the people that raised him. Because again, you know how some of our parents didn't finish high school.
That's a good point.
Some, and there's still people in our community that is not finishing school now, but raising kids.
That's a great point.
So how can you raise your kid to be a better kid if you are limited? I remember one time my son telling me he want to be a rapper, but want to quit school. He ain't really want to quit school, but didn't want to do the right thing in school in 9th grade.
Right.
And the first thing I told him, you have to have a bigger vocabulary than the 9th grade.
Right.
You can't be Jay-Z if your vocabulary is only as big as a 9th grader.
Right.
That's the truth.
Right.
So how can a parent who's not thinking about the future, they're not thinking about the future because they're not being guided right. I'm going to put it like that. Because that's why we are doing what we're doing. We're trying, because you don't have to have a college degree to watch a podcast. And because I tell the kids all the time, you learn by looking and listening. That's how you learn. So we're giving this message out to people for them to deep thought. To think about it. Am I helping because you got people that just, with the tournament, the basketball stuff. One of the reasons why we did it, because to get the message out, you got ball players coming. Ball players got fans. Ball players got parents. Ball players got grandparents. Ball players got sisters and brothers. Ball players got followers. A perfect opportunity to talk about stopping the violence. Without preaching, the message always was on the shirt. What are we about? Stopping the violence. Stopping the mental abuse. The physical abuse. The lack of training our children is an act of violence.
No question.
So that's why we want you to hear us, see us, but listen. And I'm trying to practice what I preach. I ain't swinging on nobody. If I have to defend myself, God knows Reggie Gaines will. But that is not what I walk out the door thinking about. I don't strap up to walk out the door. Because if I did, I have an intention. And it ain't right. Because you're saying I'm going to be ready for anything. But that's that you bring that type of thought pattern brings it to you.
Right.
If you going out here in your attention, sometimes things come your way.
Right.
But when you on your game about being positive, it's hard for somebody to catch you off guard. Because the only people attacking people like that are weak people.
Right.
They're not as smart as a person that their brain is clear and thinking in a positive way. Because most of the time, them people, they doing something mind altering. All right, sometimes I can drop some stuff.
Hey,
we got this Jamaican, we got the sweet potatoes. We boiled them for like 15 minutes because we wanted them to be not mushy like mashed potatoes, but we wanted them to be soft. Look at that. Then we got the drained corn, sweet corn. We got the onions. Actually, I got some white onions mixed with a little red onions. We got the sweet onions in it, the scunions. We got the green peppers and the red peppers. Now we're going to drop that off in here. This is a very simple dish. You see, we got the stuff. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to mix this up a little bit.
There you go.
We're going to mix this up a little bit. And again, I'm not trying to do anything hard because I don't want to mash the potatoes. So now we got this, right? And you know what? I said I was going to sprinkle. I want to sprinkle. The Creole.
Okay.
The Creole seasoning.
Okay.
I want to sprinkle a little bit of that on there.
No.
I want to sprinkle that on there like that, right? I want because it don't say nothing about putting any. Well, I think it does say something about it because I'm following instructions too. Now, but then it say, that one ain't going in there, but it says to put a large scoop of the mayo in here. This is where we at. I guess you put as much as you feel like you want to. So I'm gonna go here because I'm go there like that. We might need some more, but if we do, you won't see us putting it in there because we're going to taste it. I ain't going to say that. Okay. So then I'm going to open up because we need some sour cream. Yes, sour cream. And we're going to put, we don't put as much sour cream in there as we do the mayonnaise. So now, this, now some people put chicken in there, or some people put raisins. Like I said, I'm not doing the raisin thing. What I have here, this is what we got. And we threw a little bit of the seasoning in. And now what we're going to do, we're going to stick this in the refrigerator for a minute because we still going to do, we're going to do the chicken, crispy chicken Parmesan. So look at this, is the Jamaican potato salad. You smell the spices on this?
I smell it, man.
You smell this? This smelling live.
Smell a lot.
It's smelling live. And look at this. This is Jamaican sweet potato salad. Look at there. I'm going to stick, I got a lid. I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator because we're going to do the chicken Parmesan and we're going to serve our plate up with some crispy chicken Parmesan and some Jamaican potato salad. Wow, look, this is it. We did that part. Where's that lid at? Oh, here it is, here it is. Here it is, here it is. I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator for a second, folks. I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator for a second. That's Jamaican sweet potato salad. And now we get ready to get down on the, let me sit that right there. Uh-oh, hey, I want this. You know what? We're gonna set this up. We're gonna come right back at you. Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons. Jamaican sweet potato salad. Now we're gonna set up for the best crispy chicken Parmesan. I got my man Antoine Miller, AM University. It's his podcast.
That's right.
Your AAU program is called
Camden Elite.
Camden Elite.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back at you. All right, guys, we're back and we're moving right along because my brother do have something to do. So we're taking this. We're doing the crispy Parmesan, chicken Parmesan thing. Oh, look, I didn't cut that right, but we okay. So we're gonna cut. We're cutting the chicken breast in half, and we're cutting the chicken breast in half. I've been scooping up so much of his time, guys. I'm trying to move along. Now, and of course, you guys know I cook for some flavor. So, I think that the recipe, and I just got finished talking to him about following instructions when you're doing something like that. But I had already put some seasoning on the meat. So my hands are slippery from the chicken. So we're going to sprinkle some more seasoning on this chicken. Some pepper. Oh, my hands. Hold on, I got to wipe my hands off because they slippery as I grab these dishes. Now I got the grease, the vegetable oil heating up. Now, because this chicken breast is going into the flour, the egg wash, and the breadcrumbs. Because we're going to, of course, we're making a chicken Parmesan, crispy chicken Parmesan. So, let me move this over here. Everybody, you guys, you see what I'm doing. So we have the meat. And we see it's seasoned up. Plus, I put a little season in the flour already anyway. Because you know how I likes to do it. We cooking for some flavor. And again, the recipe doesn't call for us to cook with all this seasoning. It just really says salt and pepper. But I want to bump up the flavor. Of course, now we dipped it in the flour. go into the egg wash, and we're going into the breadcrumbs. This because I cut this so uneven. This is a pretty thick piece, but this is still going to work. Now I'm dropping it into the grease. All right, so now, like I said, we're seasoning up the chicken. We're dropping it into the flour. We go into the egg wash. And going into the breadcrumbs. Now, and I'm going straight from here into the grease that the vegetable oil that I already had seasoned and turned on, and that's because my brother, he is on a schedule. So anyway, Antoine, we're talking about how you're doing running your camp, and how they're not getting what was that word again?
It's the feeder program.
The feeder.
Just not being taught.
Right.
It's not being taught.
And,
they need to be taught.
but in your program, you're explaining, you're giving them a feeder program.
Right, which is just the proper tools in order to be successful and not be shell shocked when they get out into, a high school gym or the real world. Like that's the worst feeling ever for a little boy or girl, to just not be prepared as possible. You can't be as prepared for everything, but it's our job to prepare them for as much as possible and for the real world. And we got to do our part. It's just not happening. So that's the basis of the program. We're the best.
Who is supporting you? How are you getting support for your program?
Nah, it's totally independent.
But I understand being independent, but who understands, like inviting you to participate in our tournament was a part of supporting your program.
Right.
Who is supporting your program? Who? I mean, is the principals at the schools? Is the Board of Education supporting you? Who? I mean, is the local? Do they have? They I think they're just starting up PAL again. Or are they? Who's reaching out to you and saying?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean by independent. It's just us right now doing it.
How do they? How can somebody? How can my audience?
We would love to support.
How can my audience support you?
We would love to support from anybody.
How can they support you?
You can reach out to me on Instagram through my DM AM University. You can email me CamdenElite19@gmail.com, or you can call me directly. I'll give you my number when you reach the DM. But we welcome all support. We welcome all support. A thing in our community that I've seen is, everybody likes to be down with the wave. Everybody wants to be down with what's hot at one point in time. I'm not into that. I'm not into that. I want to do what's right, and and the way that I coach is not always sexy, right? It's not always the sexy thing, but you will learn and you will be held accountable, and you will have fun doing so if you want to do those things, right? So, again, we just want to prepare for real life, and I think that our way of doing it may scare some people, but if that's the case, then this might not be the program for you. But if you want to be the best that you can be,
you hear him? I'm suggesting that if you're local or Philadelphia area, the tri-state area, and you want to get involved to support him, I don't know whether it's financially or whatever. I don't know. Support him. We are hard nosed, because if how they say. I used to. I did a tournament in Woodbury one time, and the kids. I kept saying, "Don't do that. Don't do that. Right. Don't do that." And the kids and the coaches still let the kids they wasn't paying them any attention.
Yeah.
And that's an issue, not paying our children any attention. So they took me to the point where I said, I'm not going to say anything. Your team is eliminated. And it's eliminated for not following the rules. And police officer, Mr. Gaines, we'll stand over there and watch them. And, so, they won't do it again. I said, excuse me. Their coaches were sitting there watching them. And I said it several times. And if they get pulled over on the streets, are you going to say, go ahead? No, they're not going to. We know we have issues with when they want to say we're breaking the rules. We have to pay the cost because that teaches you how to follow the rules. And following the rules don't make you no chump, don't make you no conformist. It just makes your life easier that, like I say in school, if you are not talking and you're doing what you're supposed to do, the teacher doesn't have anything much to say to you except that, are you all right? Not going home with a headache from the teacher saying, sit down, shut up and sit down, shut up and sit down.
Right.
Well, they don't say shut up and sit down because, the kids run home to their parents now and then and say, my teacher said shut up. And next thing you know, they call them to school and all this kind of stuff. But to not have to hear your teacher saying constantly, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, and you go home and you got a headache, because you're at home still hearing the teacher say sit down.
Right.
When if you just sit down and relax, do your work, the school day will flow, you will learn something, you will be a better person.
Right. Hey, man, I don't have much else to say behind that. It's just, we got to become more knowledgeable, everybody, of what's going on. You got to become more knowledgeable and just understand what's happening. But it's up to you, So how much do you want to invest in your kids? How much do you want to invest in yourself, as far as the betterment of their future and your own, right? But it's just lack of knowledge. So, I thank people like you, for doing always what you're doing. Guys like you don't get the credit. They don't even get thank yous at times, but I just want to let you know, people like myself and people in my generation, we appreciate the things that you've done.
I remember, like I said, you coming through the program. I am glad to see you doing your thing. It's many young guys, young ladies that has come through the program that I see are doing the thing, doing what they're supposed to do, reaching out to the community, doing their part to make a difference in the world. When I saw my young brother doing that podcast and stuff like that, and he's doing well anyway, I said, I want to do my part on this end to help him with my audience. He's helping me with, it's going to go both ways. And it's for the positive.
That's it. That's all that matters.
AM University, Antoine Miller. Reggie Gaines, Cook into Life Lessons.
Oh, man.
We is doing it.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, I know my chicken's going to be done. It's the chicken. We're frying the chicken up because we got to make it crispy. Then we're going to throw it into the dish and throw it in the oven. It only has to be in the oven till the cheese, 10-15 minutes for the cheese to melt. And then that will be done. I'm going to prepare it. I'm going to show you. Throw it in the oven because my man is on the schedule. I got to get him now. But I want to get it done. I don't want him eating some raw chicken, though. We'll be right back. I'm going to set it up. Reggie's Cook into Life Lessons. Antoine Miller. Well, we on top of this. But my man has to break out because he does have a podcast and he does have a scheduled time. So I'm thanking him for allowing me to do this like this for him. Because the way this goes, I take, and I got this is a fresh mozzarella cheese. So we're going to throw this on here, like this. And I'm going to preheat. This is only going to be in the oven for 15 minutes because the chicken is done. The chicken is done. It's not like it's not cooked. All we're going to be doing is melting the cheese He gonna miss this. We ain't gonna miss it because we got it going on here. We got this going on. So I got the mozzarella cheese on it. Now I'm going to pour the marinara sauce on top. All right? Yes, like this. Pour it on there like this. Oh, I think I was supposed to put the mozzarella on first. I mean, the sauce on first. But that's all right, because now we're going to take and sprinkle this with Parmesan cheese. I'm going to thank my brother for being here. Again, he's going to miss this. You see this. You see this. And I'm going to have this plate. So it ain't going to be no problem. We ain't missing nothing. We just missing him. Look at this. This goes into the oven, guys. It's going to go into the oven like this. We're going to let it bake until the cheese melts and turns brown. Then we'll serve up the dish. One love.
Thanks for having me.
I had him. He just got a podcast too. So he can't stay and eat the meal. Yeah. But I'm going to stay and eat the meal. I'm going to show you the dish. Thank you for coming in, brother.
Y'all let me know how it is.
We'll let you know.
Let me know how it is.
All right. We'll be right back, guys. Reggie's Cooked into Life Lessons. I got to show my man the door.
Take care, everybody.
One love. Hey, folks. I'm back. My man, Antoine. He had to leave because he's filming his show today too, and so he's scheduled on time. As you see, the Jamaican sweet potato salad is done, and also my crispy chicken parmesan is done. So I wanted to flash you guys like that. That is where we're at. Now I'm gonna sit this here and close out this presentation with me. Whoop, 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 whoop. OMG, look at this. This looks fabulous. This looks fabulous. I'm gonna sit that right there. Sit that piece right there. Sit right there. And I'm going to, I think that, I don't know if I was able to run over all the ingredients for you for this. So for the crispy chicken parmesan, it was the boneless, skinless chicken, salt, pepper to taste, onion powder, and the flour, and the egg, and the breadcrumb to make the parmesan. And then I poured the marinara sauce on it, and put the mozzarella cheese on it, and sprinkled it with the Parmesan cheese. And you saw the workings for the Jamaican sweet potato salad. So here we go. We're going to cut this like this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I'm going to cut another piece. Cut this piece this way. Look at that mozzarella, and oh my God, it smells fabulous. Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons. Great conversation with my man Antoine Miller. This is what we're looking like, folks. OMG. Subscribe. Love you guys. OMG. The potatoes are perfect. The sweet potatoes are perfect. This is hot, but I'm the dad. Talk to you next time. Reggie's Cooked into Life Lessons.